Norway's Telenor Communications and Qatari Ooredoo company secured 2 telecommunication licenses in Myanmar, one of the last untapped telecommunication markets. However, this is seen only as an initial step for these 2 foreign companies in the country. Myanmar Focus Daily special today, we speak to the CEO of research firm Swiss on strengths and weaknesses of telecom licensed winners and the challenges they may face when rolling out operations in Myanmar amid the anti-Muslim sentiment in the country.
The strengths and weaknesses, I think both companies have experience building up a good telecom networks. I think both can do a good job in Myanmar and build up a network within a reasonable period. I think that's the good thing. Weaknesses, let's say, it was Telenor was very much already tipped in advance, so people were talking about Telenor since 1 or 2 weeks, while nobody was talking about the Qatari telecom company Ooredoo. So this was a real big surprise yesterday that Ooredoo was announced as one of the winners. And Ooredoo didn't do a lot of marketing campaigns, so people even don't know very much about that company and just started to read or find out more about that company when the award was the license was awarded yesterday.
Acquiring the licenses is only the first step for operation in Myanmar. There will be challenges ahead as Myanmar government requires the 2 companies to launch the coverage for the broad area of the nation within a short period of time. However, some areas of Myanmar are not accessible.
You often hear in the context of Myanmar from technologies. So it means like Myanmar can build up a telecom network that is state of the art within the next 4 or 5 years. And although this is true, and we thought in the case of Thailand, for example, that the telecoms network was built up within 10 years, and Thailand is like now around 20 to 130% mobile penetration. So this might be true in Myanmar as well, that technologically we will have mobile penetration. We will have a network that is state of the art, and we will have high mobile penetration. But on the other hand, if we compare, for example, Myanmar's GDP or economic power with Thailand, we see that we're 30 years behind. So even if we have in 5 years a very good network, Myanmar's consumer spending power will be very low for the time being. And this means that the majority of the population is rather poor. Most of the money will be spent for food, will be spent for housing, and not much money will be available for spending for luxury goods, for telecoms, and so on. So this might be a challenge that it will take some considerable time until telecoms companies are making profits out of this investment.
One big challenge, especially for Qatari Ooredoo, is the current anti-Muslim sentiment in Myanmar. There has been some comments about this winner from the Muslim country on social media after the announcement. But this analyst believes that this shows the side that Myanmar government has chosen the economic interests of the country over the sentiment. But there is also a possibility for the people to choose a Telenor over Ooredoo.
We see in this case that Myanmar will really care about the financial aspects of the proposal, will not reject an operator just because it comes from a certain country. Now, on the other hand, of course, it is true that there has been some sentiment against Muslims in the country, but I think mainly people will, once the operator comes online, people will mainly care about the technology. If this new telecom company has the technology, has the more penetration, and can deliver what they promised, I think people will still subscribe to this new telecoms company. On the other hand, there were, for example, in the social media, we read that this Ooredoo has been applying strict censorship to content internet in other countries, so people are a bit concerned about if this company is just doing the same in Myanmar, and if this company is doing it, then there might be a possibility that people will rather use Telenor instead.
The analyst suggested Ooredoo needs to do more PR and marketing campaign in Myanmar to change people's perspective to compete with Telenor that already has a good reputation in the country. Another challenge for these two winners is that there is no telecommunication bill yet. It is now being debated in the current parliament session.
However, the telecoms law, of course, is not yet in place, but I don't expect that Myanmar will be setting impediments for these telecom operators to be successful here. So I think they will have the license, the concession for extended period, and they will be quite free to operate. The main concerns might be maybe the old telecoms law. The old draft had some provisions for like the state being able to intervene, to get access in emergency cases and so on. So this might be some ongoing discussions.
Yet the arrival of international telecom operators to Myanmar will definitely change the landscape of the industry in Myanmar. On the way, Tami Sang from Myanmar Focus Daily.